Good morning from the wood shop. It's May 15th. It's a rather cool morning, 7 Celsius, a bit breezy though, at north wind. But it's supposed to get rather warm today. Rather warm, I'm meaning 10 to 12 degrees, maybe 15, I don't know. So I really want to take a look at some of my hives. And what I would like to do as well is I would like to put my mating nuc frames on top of some strong colonies, feed them and have them build comb on those frames. I think some comb would be nice. Whether they build them out completely, that's another thing. I don't really need that. I would just like them to start on those so that any little cup or two of bees I put in there, they've got something to hold on to. Newly mated queen has somewhere to lay, and that. I'm new to this, so I may be worrying about nothing. One of my difficulties in that is I haven't painted or dipped my mating nucs yet. I think I need to get them dipped at this point because I can use them right away after dipping. When I paint boxes, I'd really like them to wait a while. Our season is running so late that I don't think I have that time luxury. I wanted to paint them, but that requires having some warm weather, not too much wind, so I can paint them outside. That never happened. I took my bees out of the wintering shed. I think it was the 25th of March or so, give or take a couple days. It's going on 2 months later, and I've hardly even seen inside those colonies yet. I mean, there was one day I pulled a lot of frames, etc. We had a day or two of fairly nice weather. But this weekend and next week is looking quite warm. We're talking 25 degrees, which is approaching the melting point of Canadians. So we're going to be able to get into the hives and look at them. So what I really want to do is I want to look at my strong hives, because they had a lot of brood in there, and I want to look at those strong hives and make sure I'm not going to have a bunch of hives swarm. That would be terrible. And I also want to use them for this comb building exercise. So that's what I'm doing here today. I'll show you kind of what I have cooked up. Now, because this is a wax dipped medium that I have, it's used, it's the propolis, etc. This is my new mating nuc, and when I go to get things wax dipped, they can't be used. It's a biosecurity control, so I can't use these until they're wax dipped. So I can't just, like normally I would take the bottom board off of my mating nuc and set that right on the hive. I can't do that. If I did that, then it wouldn't get dipped and it wouldn't get painted before I want to use it, and then it's going to sit out for the season. Not what I want to do. I want to get that painted or dipped now before I use them. So it's just a matter of driving out there. But we have a long weekend coming up here. Monday's a holiday, so that's not going to happen until later on next week, probably at the very earliest. So I've cooked something up. Last time I was at the box and frame builder company here, it wasn't the last time, one of the last times. I went through the garbage, and they don't mind that. I've asked, and you can take, if you want, scraps for firewood, and sometimes there's milling mistakes and production errors and stuff like that. This has got a piece out of it, and they try to make a nice product, so they'll throw out anything that's not just right. And I yanked out a bunch of these top bars. These are not even finished being milled, and that's perfect for my use, because what I need is something that's about 1 inch wide. I don't know how wide these are, but they're pretty wide. They're 7/8 to 1 inch. So what I've done here is I've cut that to a length. I've cut it off here where this ear is, so it's straight, and then I've cut it to length for crossways in this box, and then I've set it down to the depth of that frame rest, which is 5/8 of an inch. I've just tacked one staple in the end. This is a kind of a temporary thing, and then my little frames actually sit in here just right. Look at that. So now I can fill this up with frames, and because I've milled my frames to 1.25 inches, I might actually get 11. in this box. And each side, I mean. Which to be nice because I have 10 mating nukes and I have only 9. Only 9 mediums here to use. Let's just see how many we can get in there. That's 10. That's 11. And I wouldn't get one more. So that's all right. Right on. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'll fill these with my mini frames. The foundation in these is floating. Some of them are tighter than others. So when I put them in here, I'm just going to eyeball them in the middle, and the V's will glue those in solid. So that's awesome. I love that. Now I realize, again, this is a short-term thing, just to put them on there for maybe a week, maybe 2, until I get my queens going. And see, there's no center here. I could put a stick in the middle here so that they're held on, but again, it doesn't have to be a long-term thing. So you can see on the bottom here I've got a problem. I've got the big space in here, so you know what the bees are going to do in there. They're going to do what they do given the opportunity. They're going to make a mess. Again, not a big deal. Not a big deal. I have a little bit of a mess there. I could put a solid divider in there, I suppose, but that uses a lot of material, and for a short-term project, it's really not what I'm wanting to do. All right, well that's it. I'm just going to do the rest of these, and I don't know, you can stick around for the ride if you want. So I've created a frame rest. Now what I didn't like was the fact that the frames could slide sideways enough to fall down. So then I went and cut some little 1/2 by 1/2 sticks to staple in the center here. So now the frames are in there nice and tight. They're not going to fall down. I can actually get 11 frames across here because I've milled these to 1.25 inches. So I know there's a violation of bee space under here, but these are not going to be on the hive very long. So there's a big gap right here, so the bees might get carried away in there a little bit, but you know, they should be able to draw these out, at least draw them out a bit. You know, if I get some comb on those, I'll be happy, just to give the mating nukes a little bit of a head start. So I'm going to take those out, and if I can find enough strong colonies out there that could tolerate such a deal, I'm going to put those on top. They come up in there and draw some comb for me. I'll feed them with my pail, give them lots of syrup to do their job with. So I'm hoping for a little bit warmer weather yet today. Get out there and get some of this work done.